Hello and welcome back, and what we're going to be looking at today is this piece of material and this piece of chalk and the 4-jaw independent chuck. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at. Before then, I have to tell you, I'm very pleased to say we've got another subscriber, which is good. Gives me the encouragement to carry on. In actual fact, the last 28 days we've had 5 new subscribers, and they're not all, I've not all been always notified of the details, the names, but one that did notify me of the details was Stephen C 4877. Stefan or Stephen, thanks a lot, and thank you for all the others as well that subscribed. And I need some more folks, so you know, it gives me the incentive to carry on and put another video on. So carry on. So anyway, in the meantime, and before I look at setting this up in a 4-jaw chuck, I just want to say something that I found very interesting the other day, and I was looking at someone else's video channel, Evan Lewis. He's from New Zealand, and he's got a very interesting channel, and I recommend you look at it. I'll tell you for why. Because not only did I find it interesting, I got a history lesson as well. Now, for many years, and other people have been the same, in the UK, you go to the school in the science class, they always tell you who discovered steam. Yeah, James Watt. He did, but he wasn't the first one. But we were led to believe he was. And also there was this guy called Trevithick, and he designed and built a steam engine. The first one, it predates the Stephenson's rockets actually. And so I was brought up thinking, yes, great inventions, you know. But the first steam engine was built 2,000 years ago, approximately. Yeah, I know it's surprising. I was surprised. I thought, no, but it is. I did some research on it, and in actual fact, Evan has got a demonstration of a model that he's working on at the moment, what his father built. You find it very interesting. Check out his channel, and he's from New Zealand. He's a very interesting person. So do that, and you'll like it, and you'll get a history lesson as well. Okay, so let's get back down to this business of the centering this in a 4-jaw chuck, and we're going to initially use a piece of chalk. Okay, so here we go. 4-jaw chuck. I've got to make sure I can get the alignment on here. See if it's better without that light on. No. What do you think? Try different angles. I think that's okay. So first of all, you know that I've told you about the think of the word from these circles round the round the chuck. Helps you to centralise things. Okay, so let's see what we're doing here, and you can see there it's nowhere near the centre, so we have to come in with it with this one. And then we'll go with this one here, and that's nowhere near the centre. It's a bit out there, a bit too much that way. So I can come around here a bit and tighten this one a bit. Okay, now it still won't be central, of course, but I'm going to put that there. Now you're wondering where the chalk comes in. Okay, so you don't have to tighten it up too tight at this stage when you're setting it up until you're perfectly happy with it. So see how far this is off central when we spin it round. Let's see what happens. Oh, it's a mile off. Yeah. Now this is where the chalk comes in, okay? So this is ordinary French chalk. It's the type that they use in dressmaking, actually, marking out on material, dark material, and it's ideal for this. But first I'm going to take my watch off. Take my watch off. So what's that? And then we can have a look at this and see if we can get it lined up. Well, this will be an example. I could get it more lined up with those markers on the chuck, but if you just steady it like that, and in a couple of places there, right, you will see the chalk marks. You can see them there. There's chalk marks there. You see them there? So, I don't know whether you can. Well, I can see there's two chalk marks there, and it's difficult for me to see if you can see them with the video as it is, with the camera position. I think it might be better like that. Okay, so that means to say that these chalk marks have come in the middle of these two jaws. It tells me that those two want tightening up. So to do that, we have to slacken these a bit. So slacken these a little bit. Not a lot at first. And then you'll find that you tighten the others up. You'll find by experience how much to do. So this one, for instance, tighten a bit more. Oops. It does pay to check these markers here first, because for instance, if you look at that mark there, the edge of that is just about 1/4 of an inch off there, and that's a bit more. So it does help initially to get it like that. Yeah. And you will get used to doing it. It can be a bit frustrating at first. Let's see what happens now. It's a little bit better. Not a lot better, but it is a little bit better. I'm going to rub the marks off there. And then put some more marks on. So steady your hand, make sure you don't go into the chuck. Otherwise it's not very healthy. So that's touching there. So we need to move that, so get the opposite jaw. Move it a bit that way. Okay. Let's see what it does now. It's a little bit better, but it wants to be some more. So there you go. It's improving a little bit, but we're going to do it again. I know some of you experienced people might think this is like watching paint dry, but nevertheless, people just starting off, I'm trying to just show them what you can do with a 4-jaw chuck. So I think that this one is a bit high, so I'll move this one a little bit. I know it won't be so right. So in actual fact, it's in between those two, but I'll put this one out a bit more. Oops. Now at this stage, I could pause the video, but I'm reluctant to do so. So, at the risk of you being bored, I'm going to continue with it. Now you'll notice I've made a mark down here as well, because if that bar, this is just rough bar and it's bar stock, and if it's bent it could be true there and not true there, but it's pretty constant at this stage, so I'm going to just slacken these two off again. Just a bit more. You see, it's getting better all the time. So you need once you've done this a lot, you'll find you can do it quicker. It's all a question of practice. So again, be careful not to get your hands caught in the chuck, and approach it like that. You can do it on one part, but the chalk is it's not easy to see on this particular material, but I can see it anyway. So you can. Let's try this. It's getting closer now. And what I'm going to do, I'll just do it again here. Just a minute. This one's mainly that. And with board stock you might not get it exactly level, but we're getting there. I know some of you want me to stop the video and set it up and then show you, but I don't particularly want to do that. Okay, well, because it's difficult to see in the chart mark, as you can see, it's still not concentric. So what you can do now is to let's not bother with the chalk at this stage. You set it up nearer. If it was a rough casting, you know, you'll never get it spinning true anyway. Or if it's rough, not just a casting, if it's bar stock that's been rolled or forged, and you're putting that in the thing, that'll not be true either. So the chalk marks is good to do it that way. But I haven't got a rolled bar stock billet or bloom or bar, so this is all we've got. So what I can do is to introduce the scribing block now. Okay, and what I'm going to do is to position it more or less at the top here. I'm going to create a shadow if I can. Nobody can see that. I can see it, of course. There's a shadow there of the stylus. You might see it better on the video. And the idea is you can make an adjustment on this. Bring it nearer. So it's just about touching there. And it's not touching there, and it's not touching there. So that tells me to just move that slightly. Tighten the opposite one up, and the shadow should have increased, but not enough, so you can find it's easier than the chalk at this stage. I'll spin it now, see what you think. It's still a little bit not quite right. Too close there and there. Opening up there, bigger shadow there. So I'll just tighten these a little bit, slacken these two, tighten the others. Oop. It's getting closer now. Okay, so I'll just put this in a little bit. You can see the shadow there, and it's almost touching in one place and not in the other. So it's its closest there, and it's its widest there. Still not now. You've got to have a lot of patience, as I told you before. I know some of you be saying, oh, we'll use a dial test indicator. Or some people refer to it as a clock gauge, but it's a dial test indicator. That's what that is. But we're not going to do that just yet. So I want to set this up a little bit more on this. I'm actually truing it up to the, not that turned diameter, it's to the rough bar. And I can just see it scratching it there. So I want to tighten it up that one. I want to slacken this a little bit more. What you say? Well, it's easy enough to eat your chalk. Yes, it may well be. Now, that's pretty accurate. Touching on that. It's a little bit out on that. I'll have to slacken this a touch. So at that point it might be as accurate as you could get in a 3-jar chuck, with chucks being worn and things like that. But that's along that area there. It's pretty much the same distance out. Get a little bit closer. But the bar's a bit distorted there, so it won't give me a true reading, a true visual, that is. But anyway, there you are, and you notice it's a little bit out there, but it's a lot nearer just there. Now, another little hint here is that if it's a little bit out of that end, what you can do is this. Ascertain where it is, and just a little tap there. See? Amazing what you can do with that, you know. So that's as pretty much as far as you can get it in that. I think that, in actual fact, is more accurate setting than what my 3-jar chuck is. Bearing in mind, the 3-jar chuck I use is an old one, and I bought it second hand, so there could be inaccuracies in it, more so than what you would be with a new one. However, I would have set that up in the machine that way, and then just before I'd start to turn on it, I'll just check that all the 4 jars are tight enough for the application. That's it. And then I could start to turn. Now that's setting it up using a combination of the chalk and the scribing block. And I could start to turn that, but you notice that this one, that was set up originally in a 3-jar chuck. Now I've set that up pretty accurately there, as you can see. But if you look at this here, it's more out there. Okay? So, I would have turned that. That's just showing what the inaccuracy is on my 3-jar chuck compared to what I've set that up in the 4-jar chuck, which goes to show that you can get more accurate settings with using the 4-jar. And if you look at it's only just cleared it there on that. And so that diameter, if I want to set that diameter up here, I need to do it more accurately. So what I can do is to either, I'm going to use this to try to set that up as though I want to true that side up there. Okay, but before I do that, I'm going to say thanks for joining me, because there's a limit to how much you can be bored, but I will set that up and you'll see what the difference is. So in the meantime, thanks for viewing and welcome your comments. I hope you found it interesting. Please subscribe and leave comments, I'll get back to you. And have a look at Evan's Hero engine. Hero was the Greek guy living in Egypt, apparently about 2,000 years ago, approximately. And I found it all very interesting, and I'm sure you will. And especially those who've got an interest in steam and steam engines and things like that. But I found it interesting anyway. So in the meantime, check this out. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.